Okay, and the Gemara tells us the Ovid Kemar Ovad, the Ovad Kemar Ovad. That's a very, very important line. Let's make sure we understand it, correctly. It means you're right and you're right. What does that mean? Rabbi Yehuda is right because he has a leg to stand on. The Chachamim are right because they have a leg to stand on. So what does that mean? In theory, I could, what's today? Monday. Today I'm by the Chachamim. What's tomorrow? Tuesday? Tuesday I'm by Rabbi Yehuda. And what does that mean? It means that there are two legitimate ways of looking at the time for Mincha, the time for Ma'ariv. What you can't do is within the same day, mix and match. What does that mean? Rabbi Yehuda is the one who says you can daven Mincha any day, including Friday, till Plag HaMincha, till an hour and a quarter before sunset. So Plag HaMincha today, for argument's sake, is going to be, Shiur today is approximately 4:30. So Shiur is 4:30, Plag HaMincha today will be about 3:30, because it's an hour and a quarter, even though it's just an hour, but because of the shortness of the day. Oh, wait a second. This is very, very practical. Okay, watch. I'm invited to a wedding next Monday night. Okay, where is the wedding? Way out in the island, or let's say Philadelphia. Right? By the time I get home from the wedding in Philadelphia, it's going to be 1 o'clock in the morning. Don't tell me it's the first night of Hanukkah. Makes no difference which night. I feel uncomfortable writing menorah 1 o'clock in the morning when I get home. I'll put a big sign on my door, light ner Hanukkah. So remember to light. That isn't the issue. So yeah, I'll pid in. What can I do? Listen carefully. I can light ner Hanukkah after Plag HaMincha. That's the very right? Because remember, after Plag HaMincha, it's nighttime. Why? Because Rabbi Yehuda says that after Plag HaMincha, you can daven Ma'ariv. You're davening Mincha before Plag, and you're davening Ma'ariv after Plag. If you're davening Ma'ariv after Plag, then come on, that has a status of night. If it has a status of night, 2 and 2 makes 4. So Fred says, okay, let's light ner Hanukkah after Plag. And the answer is you could. Now, what I suggested every night, no. Every night that you're within the quote-unquote community. So the best time to light ner Hanukkah is when the stars come out. But if I had to, in order to get the best out of this particular night, when I have my problem. Now, I don't recommend necessarily that you leave your menorah, quote unquote, unguarded with anybody in the house. I would have a neighbor come, and the neighbor can blow out your menorah after half an hour. Interesting. In other words, the minimum that it has to burn is, but if circumstances don't allow it, after half an hour, it can be quote unquote blown out. That's one possibility. Doesn't look like a menorah to me, but if need be, I can light my menorah, quote, without a menorah, or put the menorah in the sink, and even 2 tea lights, have 2 tea lights in my sink, so I don't have to worry that, God forbid, something is going to happen. The sink is not going to burn, etc. So I know that I'm safe. And so, again, what we're saying is, in such a situation, just think that we always have to do the best we can. Tomorrow night, I'm going to be home. It's going to be out by the window. I don't want to leave lights burning by the window. It could be a breeze, could be whatever it is, etc. So one has to analyze each situation. But if, let's say, I remember last year, the number was 334. Okay, so what's wrong with 333? And what's wrong with 332? Why am I 334? No, 334 happens to be Plag HaMincha. So I cannot light before 334. If I lit before 334, next Monday night, Sunday night, right? The first night, good. Either or, I do not get the mitzvah. Now, if I am lighting at 334 next Sunday night, then listen carefully, I have to have enough oil that it can last, remember, till Tzeis HaKol Chavim. Tzeis is half an hour after sunset. Okay, so if this is approximately an hour before sunset, give or take a few moments, and then it has to go. So listen carefully. If you're lighting it, stay with me. It's a very important practical din. If you're lighting it at Plag HaMincha, so first of all, I strongly recommend that you talk to your local Orthodox rabbi and get his consent. But if you are lighting at 334 next Sunday, Monday night, okay, the candles have to burn till 4:34, which is Shiur, 4:30, okay? And then that's 1 hour. Half an hour more would be Tzeis, and then another half hour for the mitzvah. So in other words, it would have to burn from 3:30 till minimally 5:30. You'd have to have enough oil or candle to burn for 2 hours. With me? Okay, it's a very important din, which emerges very practical for now. In other words, the choice between 3:30 or 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm leaving now for that Philadelphia wedding, and I'm a machutin, and I can't come late. But okay, with all the circumstances, it doesn't happen every night, it happens once. But what do I do in this once? Do I like 3:30 or 1 o'clock? I would go with the 3:30. And remember, you can light 3:30 with a bracha. So these opinions in the Gemara between Rabbi Yehuda and the Chachamim are very practical. It's not just that, we're learning some abstract ideas, okay?
Rabbi,
Please.
Question on the topic, time versus place. Would it be better to bring him to the chasna?
No. Tell me why not. You tell me.
It should be where you sleep. I get that.
Well, not just even sleep, and you're not sleeping. If you were sleeping at the chasana, then
At 1 o'clock in the morning, there's no presume nisa except for yourself.
Well, whoa. So wait a second. Even that is not so simple. So hold on. No. Okay. Now, assuming your marriage is a good one, okay, you went clear, couldn't go. All right. You didn't light candles at 3:30. Okay. Now, so if clear, if she didn't go, these are also all very interesting. Watch this. From the letter of the law, you ready? Jay, you don't have to light. All right, you hear what I said? This is very, very interesting. It's next Sunday night. He's going to Philadelphia. Clear state, whatever the reason. Okay? So, and he didn't light at 3:30. And now it's 1 o'clock in the morning. He's got two possibilities. When Claire lit at 5:30, she was home. She lit at 5:30. Who is she lighting for? She lights the candles and she says, I am lighting these candles for myself to the exclusion of my husband. Is that what she's going to say? No.
She's lighting for bias.
She's lighting for the bias, for the home. Whoever is a, quote, active member of the bias. Now, when I say active member, if the kids have moved out X number of years ago, it's hard to say, don't tell me they still get some mail to the house. That doesn't make them an active member of the house. So in that case there, you would not have to do anything, and you could rely upon your wife's lighting.
Rabbi?
Yes.
So I'm Yotze if my wife does it for me and I'm not home? I'm still Yotze?
That's correct.
It's simply under bias, okay.
That's an important thing. Now, I'm hoping that some of you communicate with your wives. Now, what does that mean? It means that when she's going to light at the appropriate time, 5:30, 6 o'clock, when she's going to light Ner Hanukkah, she's going to have in mind that it's not just for herself, it's for you as well. But this is a very important practical tip, because the Gemara in Shabbos, which talks about the laws of Hanukkah, couches it Ner Ish Ubeso, which means literally one candle per household. Ner Ish, that one candle can satisfy the individual, the homeowner, and the rest of the members of his home. Okay, so this is, like I said, exceedingly important. So we can spend all day on this. The Ovid Kamar Ovad, the Ovid Kamar Ovad. So what does that mean? I have to be consistent in going with either one or the other. Okay, so watch. What do the Chachamim say? Rabbi Yudin says, Yossi, what time you davening mincha today? Okay, so if Yossi's davening mincha today at 2, listen carefully, then he is holding like Rabbi Yehuda. You ready? Rabbi Yehuda is the one who says you could daven mincha till plaga mincha. Good. Plaga mincha, he said the day was 3:30. So now, if Yossi were to come to Shomrei Torah, at 4:35, 4:40, and they're about to daven Ma'ariv, you can daven Ma'ariv with them. Why? Because you are davening in 2 different time zones. The first time zone ended at 3:30, which is Plaga Mincha, and the next time zone, which opens up for Ma'ariv, anytime after Plaga Mincha. So you're safe that way, okay? But what if, listen carefully, you don't hold like Rabbi Yehuda, you hold like the Chachamim. What does that mean? It means that I could daven Ma'ariv till the night, okay? So That being the case, mincha, excuse me, you can daven mincha till, now what does nighttime mean there? Is it shkia or is it tzeis? That's the machlokes between us and Rabbi Tam. In other words, if you go to certain Hasidic communities, and the last few weeks I've been there twice, that's just the way my day worked out. So I'm looking for a Ma'ariv when others are still davening mincha. Why? Because they say that you can daven mincha not till the beginning of sunset, but till the end of sunset. That's Rabbi Tam. So at the end of sunset, what we call sunset, if sunset today is approximately 4:30 on the nose, give or take a minute or two, all right? So we daven mincha and we want to be finished with, so when we finish mincha by 4:30, we pause a few minutes to learn. We finished one time zone, we're going to daven Ma'ariv in another time zone. But if you consider the day till 40 minutes after sunset is still day, ready till the stars come out, etc. It's still day. You can daven mincha that time. Then, if you daven mincha 20 minutes after shkia, you can't daven Ma'ariv 30 minutes after shkia because you're in that same one time zone. In other words, you need to be at all times in two different time zones. So the way it works in the shul is very good. It's timed. We finish mincha at sunset. We daven Ma'ariv after sunset.
Rabbi,
Yes.
is there a difference with sunrise also? How you define sunrise? Do you need to start to see the sun, or it has to be like totally visible? Is there a difference of opinion?
Sure. No question. That's right. So that's why you need to follow your luach. Exactly. Okay,
So
so
if you're in this Hasidic community, you can daven that.
so the truth of the matter is, I would say probably no. In other words, if you,
And another question, but yeah, but let's say you're running very late. Can you daven by yourself at that time?
so wait a second. In other words, there, I would say, in other words, here goes. Here's a hard one, okay? You were stuck in traffic, whatever it is, and you don't feel comfortable davening mincha on the Tri-Borough Bridge, okay? So by the time you get to a Hasidic shtibel, they are, okay, how much after shkia is it? Watch, this is a very, very important point. Rabbi Yosef says that you have until 13 minutes after shkia for mincha, okay? Now, that's very, very important. It's important. It's snowing outside and we'll get a minyan, but it's not coming as fast as we want. So 13 minutes after sunset, you can still daven mincha. At some point, it's no longer the prior day. So if that's what we hold, okay, then you're asking a hard question. I come to a Hasidic place, it's 20 minutes after Shkia, okay? They're davening mincha, all right? Should I daven mincha with them or no? I should wait for Ma'ariv, okay? and daven 2 Shmona Esreis of Myra. You follow? In other words, because this is not my norm. I don't usually acknowledge 20 minutes after Shiur as being day. So I think you would probably be safest doing that. If you remind me, I'll check. But I'm quite certain that I hear what you're asking.
But you're also saying that you're by yourself. Forget about it, you're a Hasidic. By yourself, you definitely should wait tomorrow.
Yeah, that's what I
Don't be
would
a
say.
question.
That's what I would say.
And one other thing, if you're on the tri-bar bridge and it's coming up to the time, and you daven sitting in your car driving rather than waiting during 2 Shmona Esreis.
Okay, also, very good question. In other words, if I know that I'm sitting still, by all means. If I know that, forgive me, it's we're moving and we're stopping and we're moving and we're stopping and we're moving. It's very hard, even though, thank God, an experienced driver can almost, I'm not suggesting that we're driving in our sleep, God forbid, but in other words, if it's second nature, as if to say, come on, I can concentrate on 2 things at the same time. In other words,
In this case, if you would not drive the passenger, that would be an addition.
say it again.
If in Peter's case,
Good.
if you were to drive with the passenger,
That's for sure.
then you could do it sitting there.
That's for
But
sure. That's right. In
The
other
problem
words,
is that you need to drive with concentration before.
that's right. So, in other words, but Yossi, the wise guy, is going to argue that, you know what? Because I'm driving and it's not a open freeway, it's a slow, gradual drive on the bridge, that's going to cause me to have more concentration. You follow? On the words. I would probably go and say the passenger should daven, the driver should daven 2 Shmona Esreis. In other words, to say Shmona Esrei while you're driving, no. But do me a favor, I want to just check out. Again, the situation is you're in a Hasidic community, right? And it's after Shiur, they're davening mincha. What should you do? All right? I will try to believe that. Mendy, remind me. I like the question. Are you afraid to remind me? I will, please God, check it out. I'm sorry, what?
I said, that's why we retired, so we don't have to worry about these things anymore.
Most of the time. Okay, so we're gonna stop over here. Practical stuff, okay? Including we got in Hanukkah. Right? Thank you. Yes.
Benching, please. Or else you, you're gonna take it,
Take it.
I'll put something around. What? I'll wrap it up. So you're gonna bench now, or you're gonna bench later? Okay.
school.
Thank you.
I left the fork on the outside.
Thank you.
Shut this off. So I was telling them before you came, we have a very big problem with this week's parsha. I wanted to tell you. I know that they discussed it, but